Hey, Dan here, and in this video we are going to talk with a client of mine that actually managed to close a $3,000 per month retainer client after just a 30-minute phone call. I was actually pretty surprised when I heard that he first of all got like a decent client, but also after 30 minutes. It's not the most normal thing to happen. And I want to interview him because I think it will be very helpful for other accountants that want to get more monthly retainer clients. So first of all, I quickly introduce myself. I'm the owner of Accounting Kings. My name is Daan, and we help accountants to actually grow their firm. We help them with their sales and marketing, and we're really good at it, as you can probably hear about the interview that I will have with Brian in a second. In the interview, we are mainly going to talk about the sales process that he used and kind of what he learned and what he implemented to actually manage to close a client 30 minutes that is going to pay $3,000 per month. So without further ado, let's dive right into the video right now. Okay, so we are with Brian here, a client of mine of Accounting Kings, and today we are going to talk about how he actually managed to close a $3,000 per month client. So, Brian, can you maybe quickly introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what your firm does, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I've owned my own practice on a CPA firm since 2001. And, historically, like a lot of CPAs, I think I've just built my firm based off of referrals and small, medium, large, whatever was referred to me. I was just grateful and took those clients. And I made a shift recently to try to be more specific and intentional about what type of client that I want. Just meaning basically a larger business owner, entrepreneur that I can do more work for, accounting work, monthly financial statement prep, those types of things, CFO outsourcing kind of world, that side of the ledger, and then also tax strategy and planning and compliance, of course. Yeah, so I think with Accounting Kings have been super helpful and helping me to get into the marketing, give me the tools and things that I need to make that shift from just being a referral, taking referrals to actually generating leads that are good prospects for me. And specifically to the customer, the prospect that I was connected with through Accounting Kings, the individual was. I just got on a phone call. I followed the script, just asking questions, of course, which is natural about what are they looking for, why are they shopping for a CPA. And this gentleman was hadn't filed tax returns for I think 5 or 6 years. He said, quote unquote, this is keeping me up at night. He's stressed about it. He's worried about it. And I think the impetus behind him making the call was that he was coming into a little bit of money. And so he was like going to dedicate some of that money to getting his tax returns caught up. And so I was just able to talk with him and say, hey, we can totally do that. I've been doing this for a long time, been a CPA for a long time. And so I was able to, I think, establish obviously a little bit of trust with him just over the phone in that first phone call. And I just said, hey, we'd love to help you. And since we're going to be doing multiple years returns, we typically do that on an hourly basis. And so I didn't need to pause or schedule another meeting to prepare a proposal and report or review that proposal with him. And so I was just able to say, hey, yeah, we can totally handle what you need. He was totally anxious to get it done quickly. And I was just like, hey, we just do this hourly. And for new clients, we always take a retainer. And since we're doing like 5 or 6 years worth of returns, it's going to be, is $3,000 okay? And he said yes. And I sent him an electronic engagement right after the call. I told him I was going to send it to him. And within an hour, he signed it. And there was a means within that electronic, within our electronic engagement letters for them to pay, of course. So he paid the retainer, and we're working on 5 years worth of tax returns for him right now. So.
Awesome. So you managed to close the deal from the first phone call originally already?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's I know they hear that quite often actually. Typically, it's like the two-step process that we teach to all of our clients. Um,
Yeah.
and how was the whole sales process that you followed with us because you used our scripts and everything? How was that different than you used to do it before?
Well, I think the help from the sales script is just, and again, that sales process that in the past was kind of more, it was just less structured, right? I mean, I've been very successful to grow my practice over time, taking referrals, asking those general questions. What are you looking for? Creating some level of trust and competency, that they're like, okay, I think you can help me with what I need. I think the sales process that you guys have shown and provide to us is super helpful because it's a little bit more descriptive and just a little more structured so that you're not just listening to them and saying, "Hey, I can help you," and trying to close the deal. It's about listening to pain points or another term, right, is value drivers. What are they really looking for? And then restating what those are and also asking questions about where they're trying to go, right? What are their goals? Are they trying to accomplish? In this case, it was pretty obvious. He needed tax compliance done. It was keeping him up literally at night. And so, I was able to kind of help him show him like, hey, this is where you are, this is where you're trying to go. I can help you get from here to there, right? And so I think those are some of the things that are in the sales script that you guys provide for us that's helpful. Just kind of stepping me through that process and that discussion, that initial phone call.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, since there was no reason, I typically will do a two-part, gather that information, put together a proposal, and then schedule at that meeting, of course, another meeting to review the proposal. That's typically what we do. If it's more complicated, if we're trying to understand, what kind of accounting work do they need, how much volume of transactions and different things. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated. In this case, I think it was just pretty straightforward. He didn't need any of those accounting services. He just needed tax compliance. He didn't need tax strategy. He just needed tax compliance. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, and so for him in his head, I think $500 a year is not a big deal. And I told him it could be more than that. I don't know how much it's going to take, but it was a reasonable amount for multiple returns, and he was ready to pull the trigger that day and just pay us a retainer. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just a simpler kind of situation, but the process that Accounting Kings
Mhm.
gives us access to is super helpful.
Awesome. And of course, I want to make sure that the viewers also kind of get some value from this. So I'm wondering, what was kind of like a big lesson that you took away from the sales process that we used versus the one that you were using before?
Well, I think, like I said, it's just more steps or there's more direction in the process
Hmm.
rather than just, again, also if you're talking to a referral that knows that they obviously trust one of your clients or another professional that trusts and knows me, then that's a much easier sale, right? It's
Yeah.
easier they already come in as a hot lead. They already come in with some reference or confidence that you're legitimate and know what you're doing. And so I think the process of just going through the steps and asking the right questions and being more intentional with the questions that you are asking to determine again where they're at, where are they trying to go, why can't they get there, and then trying to convince them or assure them that you can help them get from here to there
Yeah.
is it's just helpful. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and you beautifully actually summarize everything that I talked about in the sales training. So that's really good to hear. And I also know that a lot of accountants kind of struggle sometimes with picking the right pricing for their services. How
Yeah.
did you decide what pricing it was? So you said per hour, but how did you decide the hourly rate?
Well, again, I that's a retainer. It's not I didn't give him a fixed quote or a bid to do, and I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 years, but I just said, hey, we're going to bill hourly. We're not sure how long it's going to take. We for sure can handle it for you, but the 3,000 is just a ballpark of something to get us going and to help cover that, and then I also explained to him. I mean, once we have some returns done and we've used up that retainer, if we do and we need more, then we'll talk with him at that time about what we've done and then at that time we would have a much better idea of how much additional cost would be to finish if indeed we can't finish it for 3,000. But I think that's a great point though, because I struggle with that too. And it's like, you're trying to gather this information to figure out if you're going to give them a fixed fee proposal monthly going forward or whatever you're bidding it, then yeah, it's a little bit more. You want a little more brain power into that to make sure that you're not underbidding it.
Yeah.
But again, in this case, maybe it's just a simpler thing, and it wasn't a fixed fee quote; it was a retainer based
Yeah.
off of, we would run hourly. So
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Earlier in this interview, you also said that you always was running the growth of the firm based on referrals. You never really did the paid advertising and marketing. What were your thoughts before you actually tried advertising your firm? Were you kind of like hesitant and doubtful about does marketing work for accounting firms, or what was kind of stopping you from diving into the whole marketing world with your firm?
That's a great question. I think, yeah, it's because it's just new. It's different. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm trying to figure it out. I think a couple of things. I love reading business books and listening to business books on Audible. I listened to a book called Who Not How, and I think it was a super powerful message for me that like instead of trying to figure out how to do things that you don't know how to do, you need to seek out somebody, a person or a group that can do that's expert in what you're not good at, and rather than just trying to figure it out yourself. I think with entrepreneurs, I'm very entrepreneurial. Most CPAs are not. But I think entrepreneurs generally have a sense of trying to do things themselves, the DIY mentality, where they're out, they're starting their own business, they're doing their own thing. I'm the same way. So I think our default is to just figure it out.
Yeah.
But I just realized that I have a lot on my plate. It's not my thing. Marketing and sales is not my thing. I should say, I think as far as sales, I have taken referrals that have come to me and obviously sold them or closed them.
Yeah.
So I guess the sales piece I'm okay with. And I think I'm relatively good at in conveying that confidence and whatnot to them. But
If you close
building
a
trust.
$3,000 retainer based on a phone call, then you definitely have some sales skills.
Something. But the marketing piece I didn't know. And I think honestly, I told you this, Dan, from the beginning. One of the things I liked about Accounting Kings was that your pricing is more based off of performance, right? So you're incentivized and motivated early on to figure out me and my company, how are we different? What is the message? And help me along the way and figure that out together, and then get compensated based off of qualified leads. And every other marketing group that I've ever talked with is not that way. It's like pay us a bunch of money every month. We may or may not give you results, but we're going to try to figure it out together. But you're paying us as we go. And honestly, actually, I did have engaged another marketing group for 4 months on that kind of a structure, and the leads just weren't what I needed. They weren't what I wanted, and so I ended that after 4 months, right? So I think the performance base is was attractive to me because it's just like, okay, there's some incentive and motivation for Accounting Kings, for you and Accounting Kings to figure out
Yeah.
my specific deal and what are good leads for me, and then you'll be compensated for that. So
Yeah. Awesome.
that's what helped me get over that hesitation, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and so far on the campaign, or when the moment when you attracted the clients we talked about, we spent like a little under $1,500 on the ads. So of course they are going to pay you on a retainer basis, which is a really good ROI. I'm also wondering what are the like the next steps, the future of the firm?
Well, I think I want to grow my firm more aggressively than I have in the past. I'm getting older. I just want it to grow faster, do more, and do better. Bring value to more people. Obviously, that's how it works. So I've just got to be able to, and I think over time, my focus and interest has got more refined in what type of client I want to work with. So both those things, what type of client I want to work with, and what client can I bring the most value to, and growing my practice more intentionally and faster than
Yeah,
just waiting for organic referrals. Again, there's nothing wrong with referrals. Referrals are awesome, but if I were to say one thing in hindsight, I'm 58 years old. I've been doing this I've been a CPA for 32 years. I've owned my own practice since 2001. So what is that? We're 23 years ago. I've owned my own CPA firm. But I think one of the downfalls of taking referrals only as your growth strategy is that you kind of get a mixed bag of different size clients and different clients in different industries and different needs that maybe aren't perfectly aligned with what you would want.
yeah,
And so you just end up filling your capacity with a bunch of so-so clients that are smaller, that are price sensitive, that are not loyal, that come and go. And you just can't service them as well as I guess I would like. So I think it's part of where I'm at in my career and my experience,
okay.
and just what I'm trying to do going forward to build faster and be more intentional about the type of clients that I get.
So yeah, Ryan, and I want to thank you for your time, and of course maybe have another interview in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem.
So that was the interview with Brian. I hope you learned a lot of things, and I hope you're actually going to implement a lot of the things that Brian actually told you, like having a script that you follow, asking a lot of questions, and just positioning yourself in a better solution to the issues of the prospect that you have right there and then. So if you are an accounting firm and you want to get more high revenue tax or accounting clients, there's a link in the description. You can click on it where I basically explain exactly how I can help you. We don't profit until you do, so I know for sure that it works, and I know for sure that you will actually find it very helpful also to check out. You don't have to, but I think it will be very helpful. Then again, thank you so much for watching the video. Leave a like if you want the algorithm to actually suggest you more videos like this. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any videos that will add a lot of value to your firm. And yeah, leave a comment also if you have very specific questions, and I will just make a video about it or answer it in the comments there. So again, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.